You come across a company that you decide you want to write for, and you need to submit your cover letter and resume. Unfortunately, not everybody submits their best during this first impression. I'm Mike with WriterSanctuary, and today I'm going to show you some things that you should not do on your resume and cover letter when you're applying to be a writer. As a hiring manager, I've come across a lot of different resumes recently, and there's one thing that's fairly clear. Not everyone seems to know how to submit one. So let's dive into it. Okay, first let's tackle cover letters. Now, a cover letter does not need to be 30 pages long. A few simple paragraphs about why you're the best for the position is more than enough. Secondly, I don't need your life story or an opening to a philosophical discussion in your cover letter. In other words, your cover letter should not be longer than your resume. Next, make sure it's grammatically correct. If I see obvious spelling and grammatical errors in your cover letter, I'm just going to pass you by. Read through something like Grammarly. Even the free version of Grammarly would have picked up a lot of errors that I saw over the past couple of weeks. Just copy your cover letter from whatever platform you decide to write it on and paste it into Grammarly's web-based online checker. Of course, you'll want to make sure you go through it with a fine-tooth comb because no system in the world is 100% accurate. But still, Grammarly would have picked up a lot of the errors that I've come across. Next, when you're referring to the company, make sure you spell it correctly. This includes brand nuances such as Green Geeks, but the brand name is actually Green Geeks, one word. This here is more important than you might realize because it shows attention to detail, something that every writer should have anyway. Next up is don't include links to previously published content that's online if it's under somebody else's name. Now, if you're a ghostwriter, you cannot use any of those articles anyway because they're gone. There's no way for me to verify that you are indeed that writer. Now, links to blogs that you own and your LinkedIn profile is very welcome. It gives me a chance to see what kind of writer you are and the type of content you create. This way I can determine on whether you are somebody that we want for our company. Just make sure that the links and blogs that you share are PG-13. Next, don't write 2 sentences in your cover letter and then don't add a resume. This does nothing to demonstrate your abilities as a writer. I have no way to verify any kind of information you're sending me, so I'm not even going to reply. Now, speaking of resumes, there's a lot of different things that you can do to a resume to make it stand out. There's a lot of things you can do to a resume, though, that will make me delete it. First of all, resumes need only be 1 page long. It's 2021, you don't need to try to cram your entire work history into 10 pages worth of a resume. I want to see relevant work history, so if you're applying as a writer, showing me that you worked the front desk at a Hilton does nothing to impress me. Next, I only care about your skills as relevant to the job position. If I'm looking for somebody to write WordPress tutorials, then having skills in WordPress and Photoshop, definitely a bonus. Programming in C# or an experienced forklift driver doesn't do it. Now, don't forget the dates of the jobs that you've worked. Month year to month year is plenty. I don't need to know the exact day. But I would like to actually have the dates there so I can determine if you've had a year of experience or nothing at all. It gives a hiring manager like me something to gauge your experience on. For all I know, you've only worked at the company for 1 day. Now, if you're self-conscious about having lapse in your work history, you can always add an asterisk at the bottom of your resume saying something like, previous work history is irrelevant but available upon request. And lastly, now you can add pictures of yourself, but it's a bit on the optional side. Especially in a day where everybody's working remotely, having a picture to go along with a person kind of gives a more of a personal feel when we're all just kind of scattered across the world. But if you do decide to send a picture with your resume, make sure it doesn't look like a mugshot. Get the best quality image and background that you possibly can. And if you can't, then don't worry about adding an image in the first place. And lastly, do not use cartoons, avatars, logos, or deviant art for your resume picture. This isn't social media, you're applying for a job. The bottom line is that as a hiring manager, my time is finite. I want to go through cover letters and resumes as quickly as possible. Spending too much time reading a 20-page resume and cover letter is taking time away from work that I really need to get done. Keep it simple, yet effective. So there you have it. There are some of the most common things I've come across so far, and I've gone through a lot of these over the past week and a half. It doesn't need to be flashy or fancy, just look nice and have relevant information. So how often do you update your resume? I think I updated mine back in 2019 when I got this new position. I probably could spruce it up a little bit though. Mostly I send people to my LinkedIn account, and even that I don't think I've actually put much effort in the last couple of years. You get kind of lax when you have a really good job. But if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. For more videos about freelance writing, WordPress, blogging, self-publishing, or anything else I cover, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. I think that's going to do it for me today, and I'll see you next time.